What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gray Rabbit Finance. I'm your host, Tyler, and today is July 4th, 2023, and I will be updating all of the Ichimoku technical analysis for all the major indices. Let's hop in. Okay, guys, now today we're going to have a special treat for you. Since it is July, we have the special opportunity to now check the 6-month charts. And so, if someone were to ask me, Tyler, if you could only check the chart twice a year, when would you check it? I would check it in January and I would check it in July. And so we're going to get a lot of extra information now through checking these 6-month charts. So let's go first here to this is the S&P 500 on the 6-month chart. Okay. And as you can see on the 6-month chart, the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen are now both flat. So until we get a close above this level here, which is the 4,818 level, we cannot confirm the bull trend on the 6-month chart. And so we also see here Senko span A and B are also flat. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But now let's head back down to our monthly analysis. And let me just resize that for you guys. Okay, so as you can see that we had the price close above the Kijun-sen and also the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. We still have a death cross here on the Ichimoku, but it does look like there's a possibility for a gold cross to happen here. So we need to keep our eyes on that, because if we get a gold cross on Ichimoku, I think we're going to have to reposition our target here. But right now I'm seeing that the Chico span is still above the candles and it's tracing it up. However, I'm expecting it to come below eventually. So this, we have the Ichimoku time cycles in here, and we're expecting the Henka to be anywhere from July to August. So I'm expecting the market to reverse between now and then. But let's go down. Oh, and one more thing, the Senko span B is flat. Which is acting like a magnet, like we talked about, and that's why I'm still expecting this reversal to happen. But we do have Senko span A up, so if we get Senko span B pointing up, then we're going to have to change our tune. But let's go down to the weekly chart. Okay, guys, let's get that lined up. So on the weekly chart, we saw that the price broke out of the Kumo, right? So we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals, which are the Ichimoku trend signals. And we also got an N wave above the cloud. So this is looking pretty bullish in the short to medium term. But I think we're going to need to get a close above this 4,512 level to confirm the bull trend on the weekly chart further. Now, we do have the stochastic is overbought right now, and it's also looking like it's about to form a death cross. So this could also be lining up with our reversal signal. But we're going to need a close below the 3,764 level to validate the further downside target. We have a bullish twist here on the Kumo cloud, but this cloud is still too small to confirm this trend on the weekly. And that's why I'm thinking that this impulse up is going to start losing its steam. We've already gotten to the 0.618, so it's possible that this next Fibonacci level here could be the point in which the trend reverses. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. And like we said, between now and between now and the end of July, we could be seeing this reversal happening. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. But our target is down here still. It's where we're going to get the carrot. And that is down here at the 3,282 level. Okay, guys, now we are on the Nasdaq 100 index, and we are on the 6-month chart, okay? And this 6-month chart is looking a little bit more bullish than the S&P 500. We have both the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen pointing up. Yeah. We have Senko span A pointing up. We have the Chico span above the candles. And we have a small bullish candle forming here, but this doesn't close until another 5 months. So, it's not really giving us much information. But we do see this reversal happening here. And just like we said before for the S&P, we're going to need a break out of this $16,800 level to confirm the bull trend up and to get Senko-Span B also pointing up. Now I'm starting to see a little bit of a gap between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, and so I'm expecting price to range in between here, these 2 points here, 16,775 and 10,471. And I'm expecting the Kijun-sen to flatten out and to attract the price back down to these levels. But let's go down to the lower time frames and see what we can see. Okay, now I'm going to turn my drawings back on. Okay guys, now on the monthly chart, we saw that price has closed again above the Kijun-sen and also the 0.618 Fibonacci level. Now we have the Chico span above the candles. We have the death cross here, but we also have the possibility of a gold cross forming here on the Ichimoku. So we need to keep an eye on that because that's going to change up our game plan. But until that happens, I'm still expecting a reversal. We have the Kumo flat, and I think that a close above the $15,284 level is going to we're going to have to reposition our target if that happens. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on that. Let's go down to the weekly chart. Okay, and now we are down on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals, or the Ichimoku trend signals. We have, we have the Chico span above the candles, we have the gold cross, and we have the price broken out of the Kumo. But this Kumo cloud is still a little bit too skinny and thin. It needs more steam to consider this trend stronger. But right now we have the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen both pointing up, so this is very bullish, and price is above the Tenkan-sen. But let's take a look at the stochastic, because we also, like we saw in the previous chart, we also have a stochastic death cross forming, which could play into our thesis of a reversal happening soon. And I'm expecting the reversal to happen sometime by the end of July, maybe heading into September. So we're going to keep our eye on that. But right now I'm expecting to get the carrot down here at this 9,609 level. And just for a little extra detail, let's go down and take a look at the daily chart. And so on the daily chart, we can see that the Senko-Span B is flat, but overall that this is a bullish trend on the daily chart. We have the Kumo flat, and we also have the stochastic overbought. So I'm expecting this trend to start to fizzle out, and I'm expecting the price to reverse around these levels here. So let's keep an eye on that. But like mentioned before, our price target is going to be the 9,609 level, and I'm expecting that around January 2024. Okay guys, so on Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin US dollar on the 3-month chart. And so we're gonna do it a little bit different for Bitcoin because this asset class is a little bit newer than the others. So it doesn't give us as much information from Ichimoku on the 6-month chart. So that's why I have the 3-month chart. But right now it looks like price closed below the Kijun-sen. The Kijun-sen is flat, and it looks like price is gonna be getting resisted again at the Kijun-sen. So I'm expecting the price to get resisted and then continue further down onto this trend line here. Now let's go down to the monthly chart. Okay guys, on the monthly chart, we have an inside bar forming. It's getting a little bit more bullish, but I'm expecting it to break down from this resistance level here at the $33,026 level. We also have an Ichimoku death cross, and now we have the Chico span below the candles. So, and we've also broken through the Kumo. So we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals for further downside. But if price closes above the $33,026 level, we're going to have to reevaluate this idea. But let's look at the weekly chart for some more detail. Okay guys, now we're on the weekly chart. And on the weekly chart, we have 2 out of the 3 Senoko Koten signals in the bullish direction. We have the gold cross, we have Chico span above the candles, and now we're just waiting here for the price to break out of the Kumo. We do have a small bullish Kumo twist here, but until price breaks the Kumo, I'm still expecting price to be resisted here at Senko span B and reverse off of this point here. And this reversal I'm expecting to happen sometime at the end of July, like we talked about before. And let's take a look at the stochastic. So the stochastic is also overbought, and I'm expecting this to also help us reverse also off of these levels. So we've had a lot of news lately in Bitcoin, which I'm going to move on to soon, but let's, our target is going to be here. This is where we're going to get the carrot. And this is going to be our first target here at the $19,569 level. And I'm expecting that around September 2023. So let's keep an eye on that. But we could have an overshoot even further down to this $14,000 level, $14,857 level. So, but let's keep an eye on our first target here. And I'm going to continue to update these, but let's move on to an interesting article I found. So you guys might have heard that there's been some ETF filings recently for Bitcoin. So here's the headline: SEC says spot Bitcoin ETF filings are inadequate, but ... Gary Gensler's crusade against crypto continues, but today's news may be a silver lining. The Wall Street Journal reports, citing people familiar with the matter, the Securities and Exchange Commission said a recent wave of applications filed by asset managers to launch spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds are inadequate. Gensler's goons reportedly told BlackRock, Fidelity, and a wave of other asset managers that the filings aren't sufficiently clear and comprehensive. Cathie Wood's ARK Investment Management, Invesco, WisdomTree, Bitwise Asset Management, and Valkyrie all reactivated or amended their applications for a spot Bitcoin ETF in recent days. An ETF that tracks the actual price of Bitcoin would mark a watershed moment for the industry because it would provide wider access to the cryptocurrency. It would allow investors to buy and sell Bitcoin through a brokerage account as easily as shares of stock. The knee-jerk reaction was to sell Bitcoin, pushing it back down to 30,000, as you guys can see here on this chart. The SEC has repeatedly rejected such funds going back to 2017 on the grounds that they are vulnerable to fraud and market manipulation. At least half a dozen ETFs that own Bitcoin futures are already on the market. As the Wall Street Journal concludes, some industry watchers predicted that BlackRock's filing would appease the SEC's concerns through an agreement to share surveillance of a spot Bitcoin trading platform with Nasdaq, which would list the ETF. Interestingly, while the initial reaction appears to be negative, one could argue this is actually positive, with the SEC engaging with asset managers and offering suggestions on what they should do. Specifically, the SEC told the exchanges that it returned the filings because they didn't name the spot Bitcoin exchange with which they are expected to have a surveillance sharing agreement, or provide enough information about the details of those surveillance arrangements. Indeed, as Bloomberg ETF guru Eric Balchunas writes, quote, "This isn't as bad as the headline. The key paragraph is deep in story. Basically, SEC wants them to name the crypto exchange and give more details on SSA, which is the surveillance sharing agreement. That's understandable, arguably good news. I was under impression they'd have to update that as well." So here's just a few of the tweets. I don't need to read those, you guys can read them. But yeah, guys, so that's the news on this. I gotta say, from my own personal viewpoint, I don't really see the point of making a Bitcoin ETF, because I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of blockchain. Crypto is an asset that you're supposed to take self-custody of. So I personally don't see how this could be a good thing for the crypto industry, and I just feel like this would open the door for price manipulation through ETFs. So What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's the latest news on the ETF filings. But we're going to keep our eye on that because, you know, I do think that's going to be have a huge impact this year on the crypto industry as a whole. So we'll keep our eyes on that and keep a lookout. Okay guys, we are now on Ethereum US dollar on the 3-month chart. So we can see that we have an inside bar forming here. And so I'm expecting this I'm expecting this bar to close inside and then have a breakdown to the downside. So let's take a look at the lower time frames. Okay, so guys, on the monthly chart, we have a Ichimoku death cross. We have the Chico span now entering below the candles, and we have price, which is closed underneath of Senko span B. So we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoku Kyoten signals. We have a bearish twist happening on the Kumo cloud. And let's see what else. We have price, which reached this overhead resistance here at the $2,228 level, which looks like it was resisted from this wick here on this candle. Here you can see that a little bit clearer here. And so I'm expecting price to be ranging before it breaks down. But let's go down to the weekly chart. Okay, guys, now we are on the weekly chart. There we are. And as you can see, price now is in the Kumo cloud. We have 2 out of the 3 Senyoku Kyoten signals in the bullish direction. So we had the gold cross here. We have the Chico span above the candles. And now the next one we would need is for price to break out of the Kumo. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. You can see that this Kijun-sen level here was acting as a previous resistance here. So I'm expecting price to go up again and get resisted and then come back down. But if price breaks above this $2,228 level, we're going to have to reevaluate this idea. But if we get a close below this level here, which is the 1,737, this is going to confirm the move to the downside. And so let's keep an eye on that. But you know, right now prices in the Kumo, this is very turbulent, ranging market. So I do not recommend anyone to trade when price is in the Kumo. And I'm expecting to get the carrot down here. Boom, right there at the $135 level. And I'm expecting that around July 2024. Okay guys, now we're on the US dollar index on the 6-month chart. And as you can see, we had a previous doji candle close here. And so I'm expecting a breakdown from this doji. And I'm expecting that to break down to this flat Kijun-sen level here. But let's go down to the monthly chart. Okay, here is the monthly chart on the DXY. And as you can see, the previous monthly candle closed above the Kijun-sen here. And we have a stochastic death cross forming. So I'm expecting more downside. And let's go to the weekly and get a little more detail. Okay guys, so on the weekly, we have 3 out of the 3 Senyoku Kyoten signals. We had the death cross, we had the Chico span below the candles, and we had a break through the Kumo cloud. But right now the market is ranging. And we saw that recently the price was resisted here at the Kumo. So we have a lower high compared to here too. So this is also bearish price action that I'm seeing. And we see this bearish Kumo getting pretty thick. So this is actually a pretty good structure. This cloud has a lot of steam in it and is looking like we're going to see further downside based on its structure. But right now the Senko span A and B are both flat. So we're going to need price to break below this $100 level to confirm the move down. And guys, typically when price breaks out of a range, you see this range here, this high and this low, and price is just bouncing up and down. Typically when price breaks out of a range, you at least get a measured move. So this is, hold on, let me make sure I'm hitting that right. This is 5% and 5.14%, right? So if I measure down 5.14%, we get to right around this level. So pretty close to where our target is. But usually you get a 1-to-1 measured move whenever price breaks out of a range. So that's pretty common, and that's just a little tip for you to visualize how price moves. But let me just make sure, yeah, so I've covered everything there, and now let's take a look at the daily chart. And so here on the daily chart, you can see that we're still ranging, right? And that we just have, the Chico span is just overlapping the candles. The cloud is twisting back and forth. So this is a ranging market. But, like I mentioned previously, if we get the break below the $100 level, that's going to confirm the move down to this level here. So and if we get a break above, if we get price to close, an N wave to close above this $105 level, then this is going to cancel out our idea. But I'm expecting price to break down, and I'm expecting to get the carrot here at this level, and that's the $94.74, and I'm expecting that around November 2023. Okay guys, now we're going to look at US oil on the 6-month chart. And so as you can see, price here was supported at the Kijun-sen, and we have a stochastic gold cross forming, and we also have the Chico span tracing the candles. So this market is still kind of in a range here, but I think this is a good sign that price was supported here on the Kijun-sen. But let's go down to the monthly chart. Okay guys, so on the monthly chart, it looks like price found support here on the bottom of this trend line. There was a bullish candle last month, and now we're starting to form one this month also. We have only one out of the 3 bearish Senyoko Kyoten signals, so we have the death cross here, but we have the Chico span still above the candles, and I'm expecting this Chico span to trace the candles back up. But we're going to need to look for a close above the $97 level here, and that's going to confirm our idea up. But if we get a close below this $63 level, then we're going to have to reevaluate. But let's go to the weekly chart. Okay, so on the weekly chart, we see that the market is ranging. You can see the Chico span bouncing up and down. The Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen are flat. But we need to look for the bullish Senyoko Kyoten signals to confirm the idea back in the bullish direction. So, like I mentioned, until we get a close out of the Kumo cloud and above the $97 level, we're going to have to wait and see what the price action does. And now, just in fundamental news, I want to show you guys a tweet that I found from the user Markets in Mayhem. Shout out to them. But he or she says, one big blip and oil could get back to triple-digit territory very quickly. This is a very tight supply situation, and SPR is now at its lowest level since 1983. SPR is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in the US. Hedge funds are also short WTIC and have very low net exposure to energy stocks. Call it a powder keg, just needs a flame. So, I thought that was a pretty interesting tweet, and I do think that since the U.S. has been draining its strategic petroleum reserve so much, down to its lowest level since 1983, like you mentioned, I think that's suppressing the price of gas. But we can only do that for so long. So I know OPEC has been cutting production, and I know that once this reserve starts dwindling out, I think this plays along with the thesis of much higher oil and energy prices. So we're going to have to see how it plays out, but that's what we're seeing in the chart, and it looks like price found support on this trend line here. As you can see, this really long wick, and it's just it seems like this trend line is just scooping the price up. So let's see how it goes, but I'm expecting to get the carrot here this is the $150 level. And I'm expecting that around September 2024. Okay guys, this is gold US dollar on the 6-month chart. And so on the 6-month chart, we can see that we have inside bar forming, We see that price was resisted here at the $2,070 level, and we can see that the Kijun-sen here is flat. So I'm expecting price to break down towards the Kijun-sen, and if I turn on my drawings here, you can see that our target is pretty darn close to that level. So let's get down to the monthly chart. Okay guys, we're on the monthly chart, and on the monthly, we have the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen are flat. The Chico span is above the candles, but last month's candle was bearish, and so we're forming a little inside bar here. So I'm expecting price to go up a little bit and then continue back down. The Kumo cloud is flat, and we have a little stochastic gold cross. So in the short term, I'm expecting price to go up a bit. But you can see here that we've been resisted at this $2,070 level 3 times already. So I'm expecting price to break back down to the lower side of this trend line here and down towards Senko Span B because it's flat and it's acting like a magnet. But let's go to the weekly chart. Okay guys, we are here on the weekly chart. So you can see these 3 resistance moves here. And on the weekly chart, we have, we had 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals. So we had the gold cross, we had the Chico span above the candles, and we had price break the Kumo. But this bullish Kumo is just too small, and the structure is not strong enough to consider it a bullish trend yet. That's why I think we would need price to close on an N wave above the $2,070 level to confirm the bull trend. We also have a stochastic death cross, which is going to play into this idea of price heading back down further. And then we have this, this triple top here, double top, triple top. And we have price breaking below the Kijun-sen. So I'm expecting further downside. And let's get the carrot down here. I'm expecting it here around this $1,575 level. Now guys, in fundamental news, I'm just going to read you the first part of this article. This is from thedailyreckoning.com, and it was written by James Rickards, and this was posted June 20th, 2023. The biggest monetary shock in 52 years. I recently revealed that the so-called BRICS Plus countries will announce the creation of a new currency at its annual Leaders Summit conference on August 22nd through the 24th. This will be the biggest upheaval in international finance since 1971. He's referencing when the US went off the gold standard. It's taking direct aim at the dollar. Quite simply, the world is unprepared for this geopolitical shockwave. It appears likely that the new BRICS Plus currency will be linked to a weight of gold. This plays to the strengths of BRICS members Russia and China. These countries are the 2 largest gold producers in the world and are ranked 6th and 7th respectively among the 100 nations with gold reserves. One difficulty in considering the impact of the new BRICS currency on the dollar is that all dollar indexes compare currency to currency. But that's meaningless since the dollar, euro, and sterling could all suffer from a loss of confidence at the same time. If gold goes from $2,000 to $10,000 per ounce, that is better understood as an 80% devaluation of the dollar, from 0.0005 ounces per dollar to 0.0001 ounces per dollar. That's a collapse of confidence, but you'll miss it if you're looking at euros or yen. Those currencies will all be collapsing at the same time. So guys, this was just an interesting article I found. I'm going to post all the links to the articles below so you can read them yourselves. But I would recommend reading that because it is pretty interesting. And I also found a tweet from the Russian embassy, which is also talking about this. So I'm going to put that on the screen for you guys also. This is a tweet from the Russian embassy in Kenya. The BRICS countries are planning to introduce a new trading currency, which will be backed by gold. More and more countries recently expressed desire to join BRICS. And so that's a post which was from July 3rd from the Russian embassy in Kenya. So just a little something extra to look out for. And they posted a link to an article at foreignpolicy.com. A BRICS currency could shake the dollar's dominance. So I'll also post a link to that below. Okay guys, now this is silver US dollar, and this is the 6-month chart. And so as you can see on the 6-month chart, we have an inside bar forming here, which I'm expecting it to break down. And usually when these break down, let's measure here. This candle here is 31%. So it's possible that we could have a measured move of 31% down. So let's take a look at our target. So yeah, that puts us right where our target is. But let's take a look at the monthly chart. And guys, just take a look at this cup and handle. I mean, that is beautiful. I've never seen a more perfect cup and handle on any chart in my life. So just keep a lookout for that, because these cup and handle patterns typically break very strong to the upside. So I'm very bullish on silver in the long term, but in the short to medium term, I am bearish. And so let's take a look at the monthly chart. Okay, so on the monthly chart, we had a death cross here. We have the Chico span tracing below the candles, and we had a recent double top here at the $30 level. So that's why I'm also expecting the reversal, because if you look at the price action, we're getting a bunch of lower highs. And so I'm expecting price to reach back down on this trend line here, this pink trend line. But let's go to the weekly chart. Okay guys, on the weekly chart here, you can see that we're just kind of ranging. But we had 3 out of the 3 Sanyoku Kyoten signals, which we had the gold cross, the Chico span above the candles, and the break of the Kumo. But like we mentioned before, this Kumo is too small, not enough steam, and the structure wasn't right to really confirm the bull trend. So we would have needed a price close above $30 level to confirm the bull trend up. But right now it just seems like the market is ranging, and I'm expecting price to get rejected on this trend line again and head back down. So this is where I'm expecting to get the carrot, right down here. And this is at the $15.64 level, and I'm expecting that around April 2024, or excuse me, March 2024. So sometime around then. But yeah. Okay guys, last but not least, this is the platinum US dollar on the 6-month chart. And as you can see, we have a little inside bar here forming on this ranging. This is a ranging market here. But we have bearish Sanyoku Kyoten signals, and we have 3 out of the 3. So we have the price below the Kumo, we have the death cross, we have the Chico span below the candles. So this chart is bearish overall. But let's go down to the monthly. So here on the monthly chart, guys, as you can see, on the monthly chart, we had price close below the Kijun-sen. So we had price close below the Kumo cloud here. We have a death cross, and we have the Chico span now below the candles. But this is a ranging market. You can see the Kumo cloud is flat. So I'm expecting some further further touch on this trend line, but we actually already hit the target that we were looking for. So we previously called out this $906 level, and so price has already hit that level. But I'm expecting again another bounce on this trend line here. So this is just a ranging market. There's really not much to it until we can get a close above this $1,177 level to confirm the bull trend up. This is just going to be a ranging market, so we're going to have to wait for more price action. But like I said, we've already hit our target here where we previously had it, and this was the $906 level. So overall, I'm pretty bullish on precious metals. And as you can see, it looks like, if you just zoom out a bit, it looks like price is getting supported on this trend line here. And so once price breaks up out of this range, I'm expecting a pretty big move up. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the price action. But overall, in the long term, I'm bullish. But on the short term, I'm expecting price to stay around this $906 target, which we've already hit. So I will continue to update the charts. And as always, guys, thank you for sticking with me till the end. I hope you got something out of this, and I want to know, what are some of your price targets for all these major pairs and indices? Feel free to comment below. And to all my viewers in the US, happy 4th of July to you. I hope you have a great time with your friends and family. Until next time, guys, peace.